your codex, of your symbol, and now we just did an energy loop that's connected to that populates everything. Welcome back to Uncivilized Rebirth. Here is where I teach you the tools and techniques that help you program in a new personality into your mind. And today I'm going to talk about tapping and how that correlates with the character trigger and how it creates a new marker in your brain of where you're going to have the codex of that new personality. Tapping, what is it? Okay, I'm about to teach you everything about tapping in a few seconds. Tap, tap, tap. It is very easy. But let's look behind the curtains about what is actually happening when you tap. You're starting in your brain by deciding that you're going to hold 3 fingers together, your middle finger, index finger, and thumb, and then you're going to pick a place somewhere on your body to tap 3 times. So your consciousness or awareness is formulating a new action to do. And then you're deciding where that action is going to happen. Let's say it's going to happen right here below my left wrist, above this tattoo. So now I'm formulating in my brain to hold these 3 fingers together, and then I'm going to tap 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. I sent a signal out of my brain, down my arm, and I hit right here. The signal was received in this arm. And then it was sent back up into the brain to receive it. That's energy, an energy loop that was just created. Why is this important? What role does it play in the character trigger? Into the character trigger, if you've been following the videos, you've learned about breath work, you've learned about consciousness, you've learned about symbology, and you've learned about the character sheet. This is how they're all going to get tied together in one spot in your brain to create that new marker where the codex is for your new personality. So, what happens is when you choose where you're going to do your tapping, the only time you do that tapping is when you visualize the symbol that you created. The symbol that you created is tied in with the character sheet that you created, because you put your symbol at the top of the character sheet, you read your character sheet, and then you look at the symbol again. So then all of those factors are being programmed in at the same time. So the symbol, when you think about it, populates the whole character sheet in your subconscious. Well, your breath work that you've been practicing is tied in with your symbol and your character sheet. So they are now, we got 3 factors now that are getting enmeshed. I'm going to pull these fingers in, put these in. We're going to add in the 4th, which is the tapping. The tapping completes the circuit. It's kind of like, I would say trifecta, that would mean 3, but it's more than that. It's the element that gives all of this life. And that's just my opinion. You're going to be thinking about your symbol, doing your breath work, choosing where you're going to do the tapping, and you're going to tap. And this is the first time you've ever done the tapping in this certain location. What does that do? It is a new process that's being programmed in, and it's being directly attached to your symbol. Your symbol's directly attached to your character sheet. Your character sheet is directly attached to your breath work. Because if you watched in earlier videos, it is important to do your breath work right before you read your character sheet and you look at your symbol. So now this character, and also what that does is it calms the mind. So the initial programming in of this multifaceted process is done with healthy, positive breath work. and a calm mind. And now you're going to tie it all in together. How does this operate once you've done your tapping? And it doesn't happen in like 1 second. It takes about a week or two of practicing all of these. And each step, you need to learn about that step. And when you get to this point to program in the tapping, you've got your breath work. You've worked on that. You've got your symbol. You've got your character sheet. They're getting processed in or coded into your brain in the new marker. And now, when you are specifically thinking about your symbol, your character sheet populates, you do your breath work, and now all of these items are getting activated in this new marker. And then you hit boom, boom, boom to start programming that in. It's the fourth prong to get them locked in. And you create an energy loop. So now that new marker has a signal that gets sent out from it through the arm, gets hit here, and then received. So it's like kind of bringing it to life, like, oh, this spot is the hub of your awareness. It's the hub of your codex, of your symbol. And now we just did an energy loop that's connected to that populates everything. Well, what happens when all of a sudden, after you've programmed this in for about a week, you go boom, boom, boom? Your symbol populates. Your codex populates. Your calm mind automatically populates. You're sending all of your energy to that one spot, your focus, your awareness. And that's what everything is focused on. And now you have your blank sheet, aka your brain. And it's kind of like your locus of control now. It's like, boop, I got everything focused right here. I can access the codex, which is attached to the symbol. And now it's all tied in with this energetic loop that activates it. When is the perfect time to use this? I've said it before. At the end of a training regimen, when you are, not the whole regimen, but an exercise, when you are just exhausted. The old version of you might have laid there and flopped around, but when you are exhausted and you just are flat out pooped, here's where the rebirth happens. Because now you're just laying there just like, I'm trashed physically. Well, let's look at this. Your brain works. All of your muscles work. Your lungs work. Nothing is trashed, actually. You've just spent a lot of energy. But when you take that deep breath, tighten the core, tighten it really hard like billows, forcing oxygen into your system, and you think of your symbol, and you hit your trigger, or your tapping, which is your character trigger. I guess we'll say, getting into the technical realm of it, like, this activates your character trigger, but is the tapping. So now the rebirth is where you're just exhausted. You do your breath work, which oxygenates your system. It sends oxygen to the brain, but your energy now is going to that new programmed in spot in your brain, which is the new marker, which is your locus of control now, where you're just like, okay, what do I do next? I'm going to have this body stand up immediately. Why not? It's basically the old version of you would not get up. You would lay there for a while just wallowing in whatever you want to call it. Or wanting sympathy from somebody, or somebody going, you did a good job, high five, fuck all of that. You want to stand up with the embodying the new character that you're programming in. And that is important in the tapping. Because when you are very, very exhausted and absolutely wiped out from a very strenuous exercise, you can do your tap. guess what populates? I'm beating a dead horse, but here's the thing. Like, this is a program that changes you, because the personality that you're programmed in, or you're programming in, has no trauma, has no issues, and has absolute focus, and has amazing qualities. That means all the crap from your past does not apply anymore. You're being rebirthed legitimately. You're creating a new personality. So when you hit that character trigger in a state of exhaustion, in combination with your breathing and seeing your symbol, and that character populates, what does that character do next? The highest, strongest version of you. You stand up, fully refreshed in one breath. Rebirth. Tapping. It's very important. If this video was not clear and concise enough on how to program it in, please let me know. I am making these videos because each time I out-process this information from my brain through my mouth to help you digest it, it helps me deliver it better. If you go back to my early videos, I was trying to explain these concepts, and I don't know how well I did it. But as I'm progressing, I know that I'm explaining it better. But when you give me input on the areas that you find that need more explanation, I can do that. Because this is the first time I've ever taught these concepts. Because I had to build this on my own. And then once I had it built, I was like, this is amazing, trying to tell people. But it was like a magic show without the prestige. Just like, oh, here it is. But now I believe that I'm presenting it better. So your feedback will help me present it better. Because when I present it better, you're going to be able to use this and apply it in your life and program in a new personality into your mind. And when you do that, it frees you up from your old life. You become a new version, a better version, a version that you handcrafted. And this is the shortcut of all shortcuts. And when I say shortcut, you don't have to go read 1 million books or go to 1 million counselors. What you do is you do the damn hard work in programming this, in your creativity, in your exercise, and your character sheet, and doing the work when you're by yourself, because that's when it matters the most. Who are you when nobody's around? Program yourself the way you want to be. The end. I'm done. Roadhouse.